Hey, I'm Joel from WellPreserved.
I'm Dana.
We wrote 1,500 articles in 1,500 days on preserving. And as a recipe developer, people would ask me, how do you have the time for this? And I regularly work outside of the house, totally non-related field, about 12 or 13 hours a day. So one thing that we developed was a way to cook 4 or 5 different preserves at the same time. And that's what we're trying to show you with batch. Preserving can be easy, it can be quick, it can be affordable, like 5 or 10 minutes. If you can chop up a chili pepper and cover it in salt, you can make a preserve.
We made batch with 2 different parts. So the part 1 is 7 different types of preserving, which Joel is going to list.
There's water bath canning, there's pressure canning, dehydrating, fermenting, cellaring, like using your fridge or using an outdoor space, salting, smoking, which I consider one technique, and infusing.
You know, if you want to figure out how to water bath can and get really, really good at that, but then one weekend you want to try fermenting and get really good at that, and then eventually when you're good at a bunch of different types of preserving, you can start mashing them up and doing different things. Like Joel said about coming home with too many strawberries. You might want to take a few and infuse them at the same time as you're making jam, and then take the tops and make some dehydrated parts for some tea or whatever. The second part of the book is a trip to the market and 25 ingredients. So it's another way to approach it. If you go to the market and you get too many strawberries, which I think we've all done a couple times, and you...
yeah. I'm guilty, totally guilty of that.
Yeah. Guilty of all of that.
Yeah, I've made all the sins.
I think, or too many peaches.
Guilty of that too.
Yeah. Or too much asparagus. That too. So this is why this whole book came about, so that you'd be able to make a bunch of different things. One of the major concepts in the book is the 10 minutes or less recipe. So what we wanted to do is make sure that you could have a bunch of different recipes to be able to make in exactly 10 minutes or less. So you don't have to spend a ton of time preserving, and you can get started, or you can complement what you're already doing. Like if you're doing a whole day of water bath canning and working really hard, you can also make some 10 minute or less ones to broaden out your pantry.
Each chapter has 2 center-of-the-plate recipes where we take preserves and turn them into full meals rather than just using them as kind of a condiment.
And all of the recipes, we wanted to make sure that you could come home on a Wednesday night and make them. And it's something that they're challenging, but they're not something that you're not familiar with already. But we use preserves in them, so in a different way to use your pickled asparagus, or a different way to use your blueberry jam, like with a salmon.
You know, I think what's been exciting about the book so far is hearing from brand new people who say they didn't know where to start, that this helped them get started, as well as hearing from experienced veterans to say, hey, I learned a new technique, or hey, I found a new inspiration in the book.